This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
ESPN. Golden Wingo with you, and
turn your mic on. You are a professional.
I'm gonna call a flag right there.
I would as well.
I did not speak.
I agree.
Before that, I was in there, so that's on you guys.
Completely agree.
You 100% definitely. You tried to talk into your mic. I definitely called you.
No. Not say a word.
I absolutely on Trey's side.
You know, we are. Thank you. Yeah. By the way, we are all in on Cliff every day, and he bags us like
that. You know what it is?
Unbelievable.
You know what it is? He missed one of me earlier.
Yes. So
and I said too late, can't do it. So now he's making up for it.
That's exactly.
It's a makeup call.
That's a makeup call you just gave.
Yep.
You are wrong, sir.
Yeah.
You are wrong.
Agreed.
We're going to turn it off again. Golden Wingo back with you on ESPN Radio and ESPN2, presented by Progressive Insurance. Give me a break. All right, so we had the Classic Regional Final in Omaha last night between number 1 Kansas, number 1 Duke. First of all, no doubt that was the best game we've seen of the entire tournament, right? In terms
number
of
2 Duke, by the way.
Number 2 Duke. Yeah, I said number 1 Kansas, number 2 Duke. That was the best game of the entire
tournament. Yes, it was.
I'm not so sure about that.
So we have that one going in, and it was the 2 Blue Bloods in Kansas.
Of course, the Final Four tomorrow. I'm a little behind here because Disney wants to own the world, and I've had to adjust.
Polarizing players in recent memory in college basketball.
But I couldn't pass up on this.
Grayson Allen. Look,
there you go.
Big shots.
Dewey Duke.
He
Look
has
back
a
on
little
the
bit of
chat.
Draymond Green in him with somehow those appendages go certain ways.
You love to hate the guy for what he did. That
Yep.
sourpuss look on his face, tripping the players the way he did, you know, and some of the moves he had. It was a guy you love to hate.
Yeah.
He just was.
Well, look, in the ACC tournament, the little bump with North Carolina, it's like anybody else you would have said, but the resume is strong.
Yeah, it is.
With Grayson Allen. You had the flailing limbs a couple of times and the tripping and all this kind of hero in what was a bad game for him, but at the end of regulation, he sort of had that hanging off-balance jumper. It twice looked like it was going in and off the rim, and it just didn't get to fall. And afterwards, where Malik Newman went nuts in overtime, Kansas rolls on, and this was Grayson after the game.
We wanted to be the team at the end of the year winning, and I mean, no one wants to end with a loss like that. It's so abrupt. I mean, the end of the game comes and it's over.
Sports karma. I've been saying it for years.
So it hurts.
You won't hear it anywhere else except here at the OMSR.
Completely agree. From the athlete side, when there are more games to be played after, if you win, when you don't, it's like the end of what my sport is playoffs. You're in it, all of a sudden you expect to keep going on, and you lose. The next day you're cleaning out your locker. It's over. And the other team moves on, and you get to watch them if you choose to. That's what happened at Duke. All of a sudden it's over, and not for him. He's cleaning out his locker. The other freshmen, some will go on to the NBA, some will not. Some will be back again. But, when it's the last game and it's the end of your career, it does feel very abrupt, especially when you expected to move on, and they were so close with that shot of his. What a game, though.
Yeah.
What a game it was. I loved the efforts by both teams. You could tell they were so fatigued. The break before the overtime couldn't come at a better time for those guys to kind of catch their breath a little bit. And what can you do but tip your hat to Malik Newman? I mean, 32 points, all 13 points in overtime for Kansas were scored by him. Just incredible. And I again thought maybe they go in a little bit inside more to Bagley.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, it sure looked like they went away from their best player, Duke did, down the stretch of that game. What do you only have, like 9 shots, I think?
He ended up with 9 shots. He was 5 of 9. Wendell Carter wasn't playing well when he came back in toward the end of the game. He really got on fire, and then he fouled out in the overtime. A lot of people thought that was a turning point.
I'm not sure that would have been wise for Duke to do. So I don't have any problem with Coach K letting Allen go and do his thing. You sort of thought about, okay, what about your boy Bagley? But at the same time, it was one of those things. I don't know whether the play was called for Grayson Allen, and that's why Bagley I'm just looking at it from the standpoint, if you Bagley in that situation, being the monster he's supposed to be, you got to demand that ball. You got to demand it. And again, if you want to blame Coach K for anything, it's the fact that man only had 9 shots. Now, I saw them doubling down on them. I saw them suffocating him in the post. They were fronting him, and obviously they had somebody behind them. I get all of that. But if you're that dude, because sometimes we've talked about it, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not saying you've done it, Coach, but I've listened to some aficionados, some pundits out there, and I just said, I got to watch this dude Bagley because is he Elijah Wall? When he was with 5 Slammer Jam MVPs, Ewing? When he was in Georgia, is he Shaq? I mean, I didn't see that. I like Bagley. was no one in the vicinity, and he was.
There's a reason he was wide open.
I'm saying he had a good game, at least in the first half. I'm just saying, Coach, I'm just looking at it like that. And he made it. I can't stand saying this because I know it's the right play, sometimes it's about being the man, but he was wide open.
No, it's about being the hero, being the GOAT. Don't you know that, Stephen A? Oh, right, he never played in it. You gotta be the man or be the GOAT.
Make the ref make a call. Max, what do you think, Max?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Coach. I'll tell you what, Coach. I agree with what Stephen A. said mostly, not about Bagley, because Ewing and Olajuwon had years in college. Bagley's a freshman. Give him some chance.
No, I'm not talking about him. I was just talking about what they were saying about him.
I agree with you, Stephen A., about, listen, Grayson Allen takes a shot to win the game, and it hits four sides of the rim and almost goes in, and you win the game if it goes in. It's hard to criticize that because it doesn't happen to go in. But, Coach, I want to take exception with something else Stephen A. said to me on SportsCenter earlier today. He actually said he doesn't want to see Loyola Chicago in the championship game.
Yeah, either do I.
And so how do you feel about, well, I know it sounds ridiculous to even ask the question, Loyola Chicago making it to the championship game?
I actually have no problem with Loyola Chicago making the championship game because that gives everyone the opportunity to win their way into the final game. And that's what they've done. And Loyola Chicago, this is not an overnight sensation. This has been a process of promotion. But this is a very good basketball team. This is not a freak show right now. They've won 31 games. They have 5 guys on the floor at all times that can make shots. They control the tempo of the game. This is what Loyola is right now. And pay attention to you guys. Virginia made the Final Four, but they're wearing Loyola uniforms because that's who they are. They're Virginia-esque. They limit you to one shot.
Okay.
They contest shots. They own the tempo of the game. In fact, they've got more guys on any given night that can score it than maybe Virginia.
Not anything about Loyola Chicago specifically.
You're
They're asking me the question.
heavy hitter.
I want the heavy hitter
programs.
for a
I
national championship game.
So you're not really screwed. He tried to paint you as screws. I can't believe Max
Here's
did
the
that.
deal. I'm not looking. Listen, I watch Michigan, Loyola, Chicago. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Villanova, Kansas. I just am.
All right. Can we get into that interview, though, we saw earlier? I know you wanted to get your take on it. The Leonard Hamilton, Florida State coach, with that Dana Jacobs said.
Let me say this. Leonard Hamilton and I go back years. I haven't seen him in a long time, but, you know, from his days coaching the Washington Wizards. I'm a fan of his as a person and a coach, and I think he's done a fabulous job at Florida State. That was not his shining moment. It was a bad moment. Dana Jacobson did an outstanding job, a former colleague right here on First Take. She did an outstanding job doing her job. And the excuse that he used in writing, by the way, which to me is unacceptable. If you want to sit up there and make a scene extemporaneously, then you know what? Respond and apologize in the same fashion, number one. Number two, and more importantly, the excuse that he used and he wrote down, those are excuses for kids. Not a grown man who's the leader in the face of the program. I don't care that you just lost a few minutes ago. It's your job to know how to handle that situation because you are a leader of men, which I know Leonard Hamilton to be. He's a good man, and he's a good coach. But it was unprofessional. It was petty.
Yeah.
It was childish. Oh, by the way, it was wrong because the game is
national championship against Syracuse.
Down 4.
Gee,
there's a whole lot.
He got to get away with it, but we're giving a hard time against Leonard Hamilton, FSU? I don't think so. You got to think back. Well, she was
righteous in what she was doing, and she was professional.
Look back at Roy Williams, 2003. You'll see what I'm saying.
Situation, and